All right, everybody. Welcome back to still don't have a name for this podcast, but a new episode. Today I'm hanging out with Josh Rubio. He's a really good friend, a really great coach, and I would say he needs no introduction, but you haven't met this man before, so he does need
So,
one.
yeah, I need an extra. I feel like I'm a great friend and a great coach. Maybe just not a good friend. Yes, my name's Josh Rubio. I've been a trainer for 11 years. Something I'm really proud of doing because this is a hard industry to have like a longevity in. So it's been every March when it happens, when I get another year in fitness, like I'm really thankful for like people like you have supported me, like friends like you, people that were there when I first started out to either unintentionally show me the ropes by bullying me into being a better coach. Shout out Jacob Rios, or just like being an ear along the way.
And first of all, you can't shout out Jacob Rios without Mike Leno. That's just the
Oh
law.
yeah, Mike Lino. Yep, yeah. Shout out Mike Lino. You're both of them, Lino and Rios,
So
unintentionally bullying me into being a better coach.
wherever you guys are, you get this episode. Uh, so all right, so we've been in the industry for 10 years. Obviously, this is our sorry, over 10 years. So you've been in the game for a while. Proud of you. Because not all of us make it, guys. Like coaching is not something that's pretty easy. Since you've been in the industry for over 10 years, do you feel like do you feel like your career has taken you down a certain direction? Like, is there a certain approach or specialty that you have? Now, I kind of feel like I already know the answer to this because I've known you for so long. But go ahead and educate like our viewers, listeners about like what do you feel like your unique approach is or specialty with regards to coaching and training?
Uh, I think the bulk of my clients right now, and it's always kind of been this way, but most of my clients now are like 50 plus. I have some that are closer to their 30s, maybe a couple, maybe one in the 20 in his 20s. Yeah, I have one guy in his 20s, but I just picked him up. So above all else, I'm a stress manager. So I have very type A individuals who want to do everything and perform at their highest level. I have a guy who does he's a marathon runner and he's also training to like have like be a like an amateur boxer. But he also like wants to lift a decent amount and he is in his 50s. So it's like you can imagine the
Batman,
amount
by
of
the
like
way. It's
what's
Batman.
that?
That's
Yeah, it's
Batman.
Batman. I'm basically training Batman. Yeah,
Just to
shout
be
out
clear.
Batman. Um no, and so it's just managing their program, their lifestyle, helping people see it, like basically like taking a holistic approach to training. So like there's like one hat that I wear. Um, and then something that have been able to refine, but I felt like came naturally to me was well, I wasn't very athletic. Like I barely I was like a JV football in I think my sophomore year. I didn't play my junior senior year. Um, so I'm way more athletic now than I ever was, and it's because I had to like reverse engineer athleticism and how to move.
No.
So that is like my superpower is that I can say this with confidence. I can teach if I know how to do it, if I can break down the movement, I can teach anybody anything based off of that, depending on the amount of time you have. I can't say I can do it like within like, oh, I can teach you how to do this in an hour, but like I have a really keen eye on helping people learn how to move in a certain way or demystify athleticism to where it's not like, oh, I just, just wasn't born this way, or my feet don't move this way, or I just was never strong or whatever. Like I have helped people become either stronger, faster, or just like a more capable human being because it's not always about athleticism in the traditional sense. I take what they call like non-athletic regular people and then turn them into athletic regular people.
I like that. The hybrid athlete, as I say. Um,
As
I, as someone who's been in the industry for like a long time, I know you've seen it as well. I feel like there's like a lot of camps. So you have one camp, let's say this is just comes to top of mind. You have like your Dr. Mike Israel camp, where it's like everything needs to go like to full ROM. You have who's the antithesis of that? Is Joel Seedman. It's like if you're not going to 90 degrees, baby.
90 degrees.
If,
Yeah.
if you travel anything greater than 90 degrees, you're obviously a piece of human filth. You're evil. You're a villain. You have that. You have other camps where we have got like those guys. Not. It's like I wouldn't say they go like one step beyond David Weck, where like it's like a cable machine, and this one
You never go full whack.
would never go for Weck.
Yeah.
They go like one step beyond.
Are you talking about like the
Like
functional pattern type people?
yeah, there we go. The
Yeah, yeah,
functional
there we go.
pattern
Yeah,
guys. Were like
yeah,
it's like I think I saw this one guy. He did like this move where it was like a pull, crawl, press like on the ground.
yeah, yeah,
And he made a video of that after saying like an Olympic lifter was ruining her low back for the rest of her life because she like could clean and jerk like 280 pounds or something like
yeah,
that. Like, obviously,
yeah.
like there's these different camps, right? And you have a who's another extremist? Just one more, Mark Ripito, where he's anti-hex bar. Something I've never even heard. Like that, if there's a hill to die on, that's the opposite.
He's a lot. He dies on a lot of hills. He's not really a big fan of kettlebell, I don't think. And then just yeah, just the whole like low bar back squat can help and solve the world's problems.
Like, bro, hunger in Africa,
You
low
just got
bar.
a low bar back squat. Yeah.
So obviously, there's all these camps and all these areas. Do you adhere to a certain camp? Like, how do you navigate this?
Oh, no, I think the longer you're in it, like each camp actually does have something to offer given the right circumstance.
Mhm.
Like even somebody like something crazy like the Joel Seedman stuff of like not past a certain point of degree. It's like it's that could be a teaching tool. It's all like if you can take all of those camps, there's like a spectrum or maybe like it'd be like a x-axis, a y-axis of like where your client is within this and what do they need to get to where they want to be. Um, like say like free weight. I think you recently had something that was free weights versus machines, right?
Mhm. Last
Yeah.
episode.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I used to be like all free weights. Like you need nothing but free weights and maybe it's like out of like necessity of just being a commercial gym and not all the free weights I have or the spaces available. But there's been a lot of times where I've used like well, I'll like have a whole session of machines, but it doesn't make me like a worse trainer for it because like the most important thing we can do as a trainer is give our clients input, like intention of like when you were doing like a seated leg extension, like you can bias by having your hips in a shortened, like really shortened flex position with your hips. That'll target different parts of your quads, or you can have it maybe lengthened. Maybe you're leaning back a little bit more. Maybe you're super close up to the seat. Um, but teaching our clients how to be intentional with their movement, I liken to like a lot of the stuff what my approach is like it's like yoga but with weights
You
in terms of not like the maybe like with your breathing but it's just like I want people to be very intentional about what they do and how they do it and then from there they're able to get feedback from the areas we want to like if you have low back pain and we're deadlifting most people are gonna think I don't want to hurt my back so they like seize up their back while they're deadlifting instead of, hey, like let's focus on maybe pulling your hips, like pulling your obliques close to your thighs.
Hmm.
So where you're creating that hip flexion and um, you're taking that deep inhale on the way down through your rib cage so you can feel your obliques engage. You're not contracting your obliques, you're just breathing to where you can feel your obliques give you feedback. And so we're creating so many sensations around how to do a deadlift properly that you're not really focused on your back anymore because you're trying to focus on what we want to get right rather than what could go wrong.
Ooh, that reverse engineering athleticism. I like how you just did that. You
Yeah, yeah.
reverse engineering athleticism. I like that. You have a good point. That, and I would say like I agree that like essentially every camp has something important to say, and it could be beneficial to you depending on like where you are at your journey. But you also have to be careful because like if you're in a camp,
Oh, yeah.
people who are in a camp, I don't say is it demonify? I don't know, monsterify, like essentially they fear monger,
Demonize. Yeah, they'll
demonize. Thank you.
demonize other camps or they'll there's a lot of hills to die on. Let's just put it that way.
There's a
There's a
lot of
lot
him.
of, there's a lot of hills to die on. But I really what I think, but the difference between like within the spectrum of all of those things is like I think of like either like physical therapy, occupational therapy. So
Mhm.
like physical therapy, think of like hypertrophy, like we're trying to make your stuff work right. Or like just like I'm really big on functional range conditioning. So like, the system where we're trying to increase that joint and tissue's capacity to have a stronger range of motion, active range of motion. Um, where it's like I think like functional range conditioning, general hypertrophy training of like, let's make sure our things work correctly, or let's build capacity within those things.
Hmm.
And occupational therapy is like patterning. Like, so you have like your Weck method type stuff. You have basically any strength training where you're trying to get like whether it be powerlifting, Olympic lifting, basically just a sequencing of movements.
Hmm. I like the where you kind of were able to integrate like different camps and approaches. I like this. This is good. This is good. People watching, listening, hope you're taking notes. This man is literally dropping free gold on you right now, for the low. Well, excellent. You've been in the industry for a while. I have a social media question for you. If you don't have a big following on social media, can you still be a good trainer?
Maybe you're a better one because you're focusing on no, yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Like it's not a matter well, one, it depends like what kind of trainer you want to be. But like you gotta have uh the large quality of work put together. Not necessarily for people to see, but for just that person to understand. So like if you're a trainer who wants to be like that online trainer, like the Instagram influencer, you still got to have a lot of years of training to know what you're talking about and to have all the different perspectives that are necessary to approach different problems or to speak on those different problems.
You bring up a good point. I like that you said that you're like, could you be a better trainer if you don't have social media following? Technically, I like the way that's a good point. Um, we often I feel like there's for some reason I don't know when it happened. We equated to like a following to skill or knowledge, and sometimes that trainer with large following is solely entertaining. Uh,
Yes.
I've seen people with big followings know very little. I've seen people with the smallest of followings know so much to the fact that we're really getting like the nitty gritty. So um, I think that's a good point to recognize that you don't necessarily have to have the biggest following. What's important, I think, and this is something that I've known you to do, is your development as a trainer, as a coach, is you're always wanting and willing to learn. Like you've never sat there and have gone, ah, I've done it. I've learned all.
I know it all.
I've done it.
It was some hard work, but we did it.
We did
Yeah,
it. We're
no.
here. We made it. I'm chilling. Versus what you do is you'll go out like on occasion, like and explore like these different camps. What does this school of thought have to offer? And I think that's really, and you kind of incorporate that into your own approach and then use it to once again re-engineer your athleticism. And you kind of mentioned that in your approach. Like you discuss the anatomy of the thing to let people know what they're feeling and kind of engineering the action, the motion, so a person can understand what you're asking of them, and then they get to perform the movement. So I think that's a beautiful thing that not many coaches and or trainers can do. So I applaud you, sir.
Appreciate that, man. Appreciate that. Well, you were a big uh help with that. There was like a point in my career where I felt stagnant, but I just didn't know where to go. Like I didn't know, like I felt like I was missing something. And then like you came along, I see you like doing like these weird 90-90 things or like slowly moving like your arm around up and around like a shoulder car and like what is this? This looks so stupid. And but yeah, it totally opened up like another like world, another perspective. And I think from there, like I've been able to like keep on finding like another rabbit hole to go through. And then COVID hit, and then everyone all of a sudden became like an expert on the internet. It was weird. Like with fitness. Well, maybe more than things, just fitness, but yeah.
Definitely, probably more than fitness, but definitely
More
happened.
just fitness, yeah.
I remember being at a lifting competition with you. You were lifting and I was coaching you, and I was like making sure, like calling your numbers and stuff like that, so you don't have to worry about that. And I remember we saw one guy doing what we thought was a shoulder crawl. We're like, "Is that?"
Yeah, yeah.
And then we caught him with a weight, and he was like, "No, he's just doing a Y."
Yeah, yeah. It's like, oh man.
Oh man, we had such hopes. We had such hopes. Um, Boom. What would you say currently is, I don't want to say currently, what would you say is just the biggest obstacle that you face regularly as like a coach or a trainer?
Uh, there's a lot in terms of just like it could be making sure I have time for myself to like do my thing, like lift. Like that's important. Like that's where my superpowers come from is like if I lift. If I don't lift, then I don't have my superpowers. Or if I don't like exercise. So like there's like the logistics of being a coach of and wanting to be fit on top of that. People think like just because like we're in fitness means it's just like, oh, we get to work out all the time. No, like if I have 8 clients that day and my day starts at 5 a.m., like, and then I still want to be like a functioning adult and not just have recess, meaning lifting after work, then I have to make sure I get that stuff done. So, like, if I have a 5 o'clock client, then I'm up at 3. So I can be in the garage gym, or if I can go to another place and lift at like at 4 in the morning and shower and figure out how to eat and do all that stuff, and then train all my clients. So there's that aspect of like the logistics. The other part would be just there's so much information on the internet, and that's like and misinformation, but like in terms of fitness, but people don't know when or how to apply it, and so you have like these influencers that are making these either claims of like this is wrong, that is wrong. It's more of just like it depends. And that's the most annoying answer out there. But like I hear people the guy that I see the most is like Squat You. Like people take his stuff like to gospel and it's just he's a doctor, so I mean why wouldn't you? Um but and he means well, but it's just I think a lot of this stuff is a little too oversimplified in terms of like if you do this exercise because you are hurt here, then you will feel better when it might take like 3 other things before you can even do that one exercise to make things better. Um, like trainers, a good one, we're like basically like mechanics, like car mechanics. Like we're biomechanics. We're
Ooh,
like, yeah, I mean, yeah, ooh, ooh. Um, but it's like if I want to change the brakes of my car, then I have to take the tires off and then I have to do all that stuff. So it's like in order to fix the back pain, we got to figure out like why is it happening? How's your flexion? Are you can you bring it into like just your hip flexion with by bringing your knee straight forward or are you going out to the side? So are you compensating with hip abduction to get into flexion? And those things, different things like will tell us like what's going on. So to just be like, hey, I checked out Squat Use Real and it said I need to be doing XYZ to fix this thing, but it's not working. Like that's probably the most annoying obstacle that I face right now because like he's not wrong. It's just it's not nuanced enough.
I think the what you said right there is something that most people don't understand about the industry that we're in, or that we're just that a coach has to deal with in general, is there are so many solutions, like you said, that like let's say you're squatting and your feet turn out while you're squat. That can happen for a multitude of reasons. So let's say you have the Squat You guy. He's like, oh, you see, this person's feet turned out. And so I immediately knew that it was this thing, and then it
Yeah.
worked, and then it was fixed. And oftentimes, like, yes, sometimes you have the one person who comes in
Yeah.
with one issue and you give one corrective exercise and then they're better.
Corrective exercise, a cue. I told him to stop doing it and he stopped.
But he's not doing it. And it
Who
was
knew?
great, right? Like, it was like, hey, stop hurting your low back. And then they listened and
They're like, oh, yes,
why didn't I
yes.
think of that, right? Like there's more nuance than that. And I think you're right. I think that often gets overshadowed by what's going on like on your net reels and so on and so forth. I would say like if I had to oppose a camp, I Ryan Johnson, also known as Liver King.
Is that a camp? I think that's just like one guy. I don't know. Does he?
He's got over 1 million followers. Let's call it a
Well,
camp.
no, I don't think those are. I don't think those are followers. I think those are watchers.
There's a you know what I'm saying?
Those
Like
are people watching like the train wreck.
the train wreck. Like because personally, like the way I see it is if you tell people like, yo, man, I live my life like a barbarian, and that's why I'm jacked as hell and my abs stick out and I'm like this, and I'm like, okay, bro, you walk around at like 4% body fat and with your shirt off all the time, by the way, it's cold outside, put a shirt on. You walk around with this,
If you live in Primal, you don't get cold.
you're living prime. No, I guess with like Anavar and your like, your body temperature being like huge, like
Yes, yes,
of course you don't get cold. But like to live that camp, be like I'm this buff and this jacked solely because I eat raw eggs all the time. Like absolutely not. Um,
yeah,
I think that's like even though I think his camp is mainly like lifestyle and supplement, like he infringes upon like like the Venn diagram where like they slightly cross
yeah,
over, but
yeah.
not directly over, but like he slightly like impedes the fitness industry because you have people now who would say like, yeah, like don't get me wrong, in 90 days I'm finna look like a barbarian, baby. I'm walking outside, I'm getting sunlight. All these things are healthy, and I'm proud of you for doing those things because
Yeah, yeah, it's like these are good things. It's not going to get you like there in 90 days, but like you probably enjoy your life a lot more.
I enjoy life a lot more, and I can
Yeah.
advocate for that. But to say essentially like a bait and switch. Like, yeah, like now you feel better because you're outside, you're doing all those things. You don't look like a barbarian, but like, is that a good enough trade-off? Like, I don't know. Me personally, I'm really
You
big
look like a barbarian.
on occasion, um,
Yeah.
depending on the season. Summer's coming up, so I'm gonna try. But to try to essentially like sell your products, saying you'll look like this if you do this when you were doing more than what you say you're doing is huge. Like, I have no problem with steroid usage. A lot of my friends take steroids, right? And
Yeah.
they see success, and some of them are even honest about it, which is I prefer.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But you don't ever want to tell someone, "Hey, do this and you'll look like me," when obviously like they can't. Like my favorite, like I guess like meme, like my olden day meme before we had reels, was it was like an influencer's breakfast on Instagram, and it was like eggs, toast,
Yes.
or something, right? And then the next one was like influencers breakfast in real life. It was like egg, toast, banana, and like a
And the
vial of
syringe.
testosterone.
Yep.
Right,
Yep.
right.
Yep. Yep.
Like that's a totally different thing. And I would say that the looking fit and athletic as you age is like always the goal. But like there's people who essentially stay at an aesthetic 24/7. And I honestly view that for most of those people, like there's probably like, 1% of the population that can do that healthy and like live a healthy life.
My
But
girlfriend. But yes.
like yeah,
Yeah, my girlfriend.
but like but for the rest of us, like it's not a thing. Like I think is another guy who's like walks around like lean as hell. I think his name like Simeon Panda. And he's like, yeah, man, I don't use steroids. I was like, bro, you're walking around like they were like Simeon Panda, I think another guy was Kai Green. They're huge. They're like this big and they're huge, and obviously you put in a lot of effort to get there, but also like the human body is not supposed to be that lean for that long
Full, yeah, year round. Yeah.
year round, or to be that lean for that long and to train at that intensity. Like those are that's like I don't say untold stress, but that causes stress, and
Yeah.
all stress adds, and eventually stress detracts, which is why a lot of people have like these issues who try to stay that lean that long and have all stuff. Like I think there was this once again I'm on the internet too much. There was this bodybuilder, not bodybuilder, power builder. He's 17-year-old, cleanest. He's supposed to be the most natural. He was supposed to be a natural bencher, no steroid usage. Who benched almost it's like 900 or like 1,000 pounds, anywhere between 800 and 1,000 pounds. It was crazy, right?
Goodness. Yeah.
He's in the hospital for steroid-like symptoms,
Oh my gosh.
which makes sense because
Yeah.
yes, like as a 17-year-old, that's nuts. But like if you're going to if you're going to do steroids, do it safely, get you some help, but
Do it
also
with a doctor. I have somebody watching that. I know, I think Jason Poston, I think that's his name.
Jason Bourne.
He's he's like some Texas guy. Like he's all about like his peptides and like having people like go to the doctor, find somebody like he's honest about this dude's yoked.
Hmm.
But he's super honest about like what he takes, and he's even more like he wants people to, if they're gonna do it, like find somebody to help you to do it. Like don't just don't be going to the Gold's bathroom, the Gold's Gym bathroom, and finding like the guy there. Like go to a real professional.
I like that. Go to a real professional because that's crazy because there's a lot of people who essentially end up, I don't say doing it like, we'll call it doing it dangerously, like steroid usage, taking it to the extreme, and it, like anything taken to the extreme, it becomes dangerous.
Yes,
Uh,
yes.
And so, A, if there is steroid usage, do it safely. B, if there is steroid usage, do it honestly, like be open about it. And no more bait and switches out there. If you're on the up, if you come across the video team and you're like on the rise, like fitness influencer, coach, trainer, whatever you are, A, hopefully get the interview on my show, but B, if you're on some kind of juice or performance enhancer, like talk about it, be honest about it. Don't do the bait and switch that we often see like on
Yeah.
eventually, like it
It's
comes
gonna be find out. It's gonna come out. Goober's
out.
gonna find you. That guy's amazing. That guy's taught me so much about Photoshop. I had no idea.
Goob will be your undoing. Like there was, and
Yeah.
even if it's not Photoshop, like I think there was a lady who got a BBL
Ah.
but was selling booty plants.
Yes, yeah. I saw this one. I saw this one. Yeah.
Right. Like she was like, yo, like got like if you want like a bigger butt, like you just gotta train hard like me. And then I have no idea how Goob does this. Like this lady didn't have like a big following or anything, but I guess like he's in it for the spite of the game.
It's on his like his spider sense is going. It's like
Like he's like
this
someone's
honesty is happening.
it's not what's happening, and I'm not gonna stand for it. Like this lady didn't have a big following count, but like essentially, she was like, "Yeah, get a booty pump." Like me, he's like, "This is an interesting tattoo. It's beautiful, the one on your right leg." And I saw this somewhere else, didn't I? I was like, "Bro, are you about to identify this lady by her tattoo?" Goes to like a BBL doctor. It's
Oh
paid.
my gosh.
Doesn't have like it's just like ribs down
Yeah.
of the
Yeah.
photo, but like match tattoos. Like this couldn't be you, could it?
Oh
Dr.
man.
BBL's like Instagram or like on
Oh
his
my gosh.
website. I was like,
Yeah.
how do you find
Yeah.
her somewhere else? Like, so it's stuff like that. Google, like I like that. Google will find you. Don't do that. Don't risk it. Um, because like, what's the point, right? Like, I know we live in like this like capitalist like society where like you wanna see success, and you can see success because I know you've done this. You can see success by having an honest and open coaching practice while providing like consistency and accountability and real life expectations. Like the man who's boxing, marathoning, and wants to be Batman, you're not going to tell him, "Hey, and by the way, we're going to keep you at 3% body fat." You're going to feel like,
Oh yeah. Oh, he wants it though. I'm like, I mean,
but
and
you'll tell him,
he has like this like 1974 like mindset of like I need to be hurting more. I was like, no, like talking him off the ledge all the time. Like, no, man, like I'm trying to keep you going. Like I want to keep you going until like you're 65 doing this. Like if you want to like be a world champion when you're 60, like I gotta keep you there. Gotta yeah, it's all about stress management and you're talking about like the freedom to succeed and it, like on but with that comes the freedom to fail, and that's where like the real learning happens. Like talking about like capitalistic societies, like it's where there is a freedom to succeed, but with that comes a freedom to fail. So if I don't fail honestly, I can't succeed honestly. And so like that's just it's those like soapbox things for myself is that like there's a lot of people out there who are but like welcome it, fail forward. Like it's the only way to get better. I failed a lot in my career. But it just didn't necessarily feel that.
Oh no, did it? Oh, you're back. We lost you for a second. Rubio, thanks for letting me get you back on this podcast episode. I appreciate you coming back after all the technical difficulties that we had. I
Yeah.
two more questions left for you for our viewers to learn about you. The first one is how does work as a coach impact your personal life?
That's a boring answer for now, but over the course of like my career, it's changed like almost everything where um I have like when I first started as a trainer, got married, had a kid, divorced, and all those things. And in some instance, coaching was like a constant, something to like pour myself into. But it also changed my perspective through those years of just how and who like I want to be and just overcoming distractions. Um, and now it it's a boring answer because like really just the obstacle is it gets in the way of lifting, it gets in the way of training, it gets in the way of sleeping. Um, so I would say like those would be like the obstacles that I face now. It's like I'm suffering for my own success in terms of that sounds so terrible, but of like I picked up a new client, which means now I have to get up at 3 o'clock to lift instead of 4 o'clock. So or I have to get like I only have time for like a 45-minute workout today to do the things that I want to do. And like I don't exercise like I train. I like to train for things. Like we have a Cancun trip coming up in August. So, want to look jacked for that. Like I have I have to keep up with Momosita. Like she's like jacked. So I gotta look like I'm her boyfriend. Um, um, and then we have CrossFit competition in November.
Mm.
Oh, and then maybe quite possibly, I'm not sure if this is like a thing that's like widely known yet, but then Lifetime is gonna have like their own LT games. That's in October.
Oh no.
So I have to like kind of start concurrently training to like still be jacked and lean, but also have a pretty big work capacity. Um, and so I think that's like less than 60 days apart of like Cancun and then that. So that yeah, my training schedule, that's what it gets in the way of right now.
For all those who don't for all those listening, if you're wanting to get into like personal training or coaching or things like that, there's a NASM advertisement out on the internet right now that says like work out for a living, become a personal trainer. That's really not the truth. Like
Not at all. Like for group like a group instructor maybe, like or cycle instructor definitely. Like if you
yeah,
want to work out all the time while you're coaching, you'd be a cycle instructor.
get it. But if you're coaching, you're not
No,
working.
absolutely not. Like you're basically working like a 9 to 5, but in my case, it's a 5 to noon or 5 to 1. And you're up and moving, you're up and active, and you're talking fitness, and you're all doing all the things fitness. But like you actually don't get to do the fitness until like unless you wake up super early before or unless you do it like afterwards.
So thank you for making that clarification, and I hope once again all the viewers who saw that NASM ad are made aware of the darkness that is that ad and the lie that it is. But thanks, bro. Thank you for, like I said, coming on the show today. Still working on the podcast name. We'll figure it out. But the rule of thumb is that I have for any of my guests who are on the episode, they get to name said episode. So, my guy, what would you like to call our episode today?
Call it episode. Let's say never go full whack, but go full-time trainer.
Full-time trainer, never full whack, go full-time trainer. Okay,
Yeah.
never full whack. I like do full-time trainer, never whack or something like that.
Never go full whack, go full trainer.
Go full trainer, go full-time.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll figure out how to work this in. I got this, bro. Thank you for the time today. Obviously, I
Yeah, man, thanks for
appreciated it.
having me.
If you're in Austin, Texas, everybody, make sure to go check out my man Josh Rubio at Lifetime downtown, right? Downtown location.
Downtown location. Yes, sir.
Um, get some insight, get some help. Obviously, the we've talked shop. You know this guy is what he says he's about, and you know he's about it. So make sure to check him out. If I'm not sure, do you want to give your socials or anything like that? I prefer to just catch him in the studio.
Yeah, no, like if you aren't like a lifter and you want to see like kind of inspiring lifting, you can follow El Quadrino. And if you are a lifter and you want to see some incredibly average lifting, check out El Quadrino.
El Quadrino, guys. I'll try to put his Instagram or anything like that, like in the description. Not, yeah, description in the comments or whatever. So you
Yeah.
guys can go check out my guy on Instagram, so on and so forth. But my guy, thank you for coming on. I'm going
Thanks
to
for having me, man.
record it.